In the quiet spaces between words, there lies a tenderness that never finds voice, a glance held a moment too long, a message left unread yet felt in the chest, a laughter shared across a crowded room that lingers long after the sound fades. These are the unspoken connections, threads of feeling woven silently between souls. They carry warmth, yet they also carry ache. Not the sharp pain of loss, but the soft, persistent sorrow of something beautiful that remains unnamed. In these invisible bonds, people meet without fully meeting, love without fully loving, and grieve the distance that words might have closed. This is the hidden pain of unspoken connections, a gentle wound that teaches the heart how deeply it can feel, even in silence. It begins with a subtle shift inside the chest. Someone enters the periphery of vision and something unspoken awakens. Eyes meet briefly, then look away, yet the resonance remains. A conversation flows easily on the surface, but beneath it runs a current of understanding too delicate to name. Laughter arises together, pauses align, silences feel shared rather than empty. The mind notices patterns, the way they tilt their head when listening, the particular cadence of their breath when thoughtful. These observations accumulate quietly, forming an emotional map of another person drawn entirely in feeling. No confession is made, no boundary is crossed, yet the heart has already begun to lean toward them, trusting the unseen bridge that has formed in the space between words. From earliest days, children learn which emotions are safe to express. A caregiver's discomfort with tenderness, a household where vulnerability was met with dismissal, these quiet lessons embed themselves deeply. The young heart discovers that certain feelings, when spoken, bring distance rather than closeness. Silence becomes protection. Over time, this pattern hardens into an unspoken rule. To reveal the depth of caring is to risk rejection or burden. In adulthood, the rule persists beneath awareness. When genuine connection stirs, the old reflex activates, not to reach, but to retreat into safety. The fear is not always conscious, it lives in the body as a subtle tightening, a hesitation before the next sentence. Thus, the most authentic emotions remain guarded, preserved in the private sanctuary of the inner world. Research in attachment reveals that anxious and avoidant patterns often coexist within the same person. The heart yearns for closeness while simultaneously fearing it. Neuroimaging studies show that unspoken romantic interest activates similar reward centers as overt love, yet with heightened activity in areas associated with uncertainty and threat. The vagus nerve, regulator of social connection, responds to these silent bonds with gentle arousal. Heart rate subtly increases, breath shallows. Yet the prefrontal cortex dampens expression to maintain emotional equilibrium. This internal conflict consumes cognitive resources. Studies document reduced working memory and increased rumination when feelings remain unvoiced. The psyche, in its wisdom, protects against potential loss by keeping desire contained, even as the containment itself becomes a different kind of loss. Within the same mind, two currents move in opposite directions. One reaches outward, tracing the contours of another's presence with tender curiosity. The other pulls inward, reciting old warnings. Too much, too soon, too vulnerable. This tension manifests as restless thought in quiet hours, replaying moments, imagining conversations that never occurred. Sleep becomes lighter, dreams carry symbolic meanings that dissolve upon waking. During the day, composure is maintained with careful precision, smiles measured, words chosen for safety, yet the body betrays the conflict, shoulders slightly raised, fingers tracing absent patterns on tabletops. The resistance feels necessary, even noble. Speaking might disrupt the delicate harmony that silence has preserved. Still, the heart protests softly, aching with the weight of all that remains beautifully, painfully unshared. One evening, perhaps while watching rain trace paths down a window, understanding arrives without announcement. The ache is recognized not as flaw or failure, but as evidence of capacity, of a heart still open enough to feel deeply, even across distance. The unspoken connection is seen clearly, neither tragedy nor fantasy, but a genuine meeting of two inner worlds that occurred without requirement of outcome. The pain softens as it is named inwardly, no longer a secret shame, but a tender truth. What was hidden begins to integrate, not by being spoken aloud, but by being fully felt within. The realization carries no urgency to act, only a quiet permission to carry the feeling with gentleness, honoring its presence as proof of aliveness. In time, the hidden pain becomes something else entirely, a quiet luminescence within the chest. The unspoken connections no longer feel like wounds, but like secret gardens tended in silence. Each memory of shared resonance, every glance, every aligned silence becomes a small lantern carried forward. The heart learns to hold tenderness without demanding its expression, discovering that love can exist purely without possession or declaration. This integration brings a soft expansion, greater attunement to others, deeper compassion for their own unspoken worlds. The ache remains, transformed into a gentle reminder of human depth. In the vast tapestry of lived experience, these silent bonds shimmer like silver threads, never fully visible to others, yet lending quiet strength and beauty to the whole. To feel deeply, even without words, is to remain profoundly, irrevocably alive.